Deck the Halls is not necessarily the kind of Christmas film I usually go for, but I really thoroughly enjoyed this. This was released in 2011. It's directed by Ron Underwood. It's written by Howard Burkons, based on the book by Carol Higgins Clark and Mary Higgins Clark. I haven't read the book, but if you know anything about it, please feel free to share. And the reason I wanted to watch this, aside from my love of Christmas films, is my love of Kathy Najimy. We also have a cast including Scottie Thompson and Larry Miller, Jane Alexander, Luciana, Carro, David Selby. Great cast, great performances, very well written characters. I will say before I go any further, it's not a particularly festive film, not just in terms of the narrative, but in terms of the actual atmosphere. We have a lot of Santas, which is kind of fun, and some Christmas decorations. But if you're looking for a film to get you in the holiday spirit, this probably won't be it, but it is a really good story. It focuses on Detective Regan Reilly and Private Eye Alvirah, and they have to try and track down Regan's father, who is kidnapped at the start of the film along with his driver. And we, the viewer, see a little bit of where Regan's father, Luke, and the driver, Rosita, are being held. They are being held by somebody dressed as Santa Claus, bringing in the Christmas element. And I don't want to say too much more than that. I don't want to go into too much detail about what's happening to them, but we don't get a tremendous amount of information. We find out things pretty much at the rate that Regan and Alvirah find out, and I think that works really well. There's definitely a nice amount of suspense. I would have liked a few more suspects. I feel like these kinds of films work better when there are a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but a good handful of prospective outcomes, because I think it makes it more difficult to work out what's going on. That's not to say I completely worked it out, but I had my suspicions. And I would have liked maybe a little bit more in terms of being unpredictable. It's not completely predictable, but they could have led us down a few more different paths. But that being said, I enjoyed it as a narrative. It's a nice mystery. There's a nice amount of suspense in it. The performances are great, and the characters are all very well written. So definitely not my usual kind of Christmas film, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty decent. And if it sounds like your kind of mystery, your kind of thriller, absolutely give it a go. I rather enjoyed it, and I wouldn't watch it a second time. It's not unusual for me to not watch this kind of film the second time, because once you know what happens, it kind of takes away some of the fun. But that being said, I really enjoyed the story, loved the performances. The Many Santas was pretty amusing. I don't know if I was meant to find it amusing, but I certainly did. And ultimately, I'm quite happy with it. I'll say no more, as I don't want to give away anything else, but I can say that Deck the Halls, although not my usual kind of festive film, was definitely really enjoyable.